1, 2, 3. Let's see how that looks. Alright, is that coming through? Surely I'd have to figure out a way at this point to figure out how to do this beforehand. However, I am not that smart. So come on. Are we on? Are we live? There we go. It's always the debugging that's the hardest part. That's way too zoomed in. Or is it? You know, maybe I need to be exactly that far zoomed in order for anything to be seen. How does that look? Maybe need extra lights down there. That's probably for the best. Okay, why isn't that playing? Oh, it is playing! It's been playing this whole time. And that's just on me for not being able to see it properly. Okay, well, I'm an idiot by the looks of things. But you know what else is new? Okay. So we play there. Okay. I think we need the light to be over this side. I feel like I always make this mistake about where the lighting needs to be. But you know what? That's my mistake to make. Let's see, how am I gonna finagle this fucking thing? Ugh. Well, thank God I haven't announced that I'm going live on any of my social media, so nobody knows to come here and watch me absolutely flounder around like a fucking maniac. Okay, that's absolutely not working. That's absolutely not doing what I wanted to do. I should have got this figured out beforehand, but I simply didn't. Oh, this is bad. This is bad television. This is bad television. I only have myself to blame. You know, I got a flexi ring light because it had flexibility, but clearly it's not very flexible now, is it? Okay, how is that doing? How's that doing for the video quality? Okay, good enough, I suppose. Let's see, if I hold it like back up to there. This is get it in focus. Get my big meaty palm out of the way. Okay, let's see what we can do. Alright. Let's see, I have my miniatures. I have my paints somewhere, at the very least. I'll post that there. Post that there. And I'll post that there. Okay. Well, I'm glad I could serve as a source of inspiration. That's always very meaningful to hear. Oh, God. Especially since my own, you know, setup, if you can call it that, is an absolute disaster. But you know what, at the end of the day, we're just having fun painting some little guys. And that's the important thing. We don't need $1 million setups or phone cameras that work functionally half the time. As long as we have some Citadel paints and a cup of water, we can achieve our dreams and conquer the stars. And that's what's important. Also provided I have ginger ale to sate my eternal thirst. Okay, I absolutely need to start painting, because I know if I don't, I'm just not going to do anything. But yeah, you know, sharing your own work with the hobby is great. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone says, as long as you're having a fun time, and you're painting things that you enjoy painting, that's really what it all comes down to at the end of the day. Okay, I need to... I'm literally like... If my phone camera wasn't zoomed in, like, all the way right now, it would only just highlight how much of a freaking mess my setup is. Okay, is that light visible here? What if I do this? What if I do this? What if I take this light and put it somewhere else? What if I put it up here? Is this anything? Oh wow, that makes him look really spooky actually. It's not exactly the vibe that I was going for. Or what if I do that? Ooh, maybe. Here, I think I can like turn down. I can probably afford to like turn down that light a little bit. There we go, and refocus. Okay, it looks like my entire... This makes it look like my entire like working setup is enshrouded in shadow. But you know what? I kind of dig that. I'm into it. Yeah, what if I move this down? Normally these streams have a lot less preamble, and normally I set this thing up ahead of time. But today is not one of those days. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I just have like a tiny cramped desk with like a laptop, a couple of ring lights that barely work. Alright, here's what I need. The preamble is peak charm. Thank God. I have no recourse if it wasn't. Okay, so what am I doing today? I am painting this little librarian. Now I've already got a head start on him, but now I just need to figure out what else I need to do. I think I need to do a couple more layers of Thousand Suns blue across his axe and across his pauldrons too. I also need to just take him very briefly off camera so I can wipe him with my shirt because he's covered in dust, and I don't want that to. I don't want to like bake that dust in with my fucking paints. Boom. He's returned. Okay, where is my Lamy in medium? There it is. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get too much done today in the grand scheme of things. I'm probably just going to take a chill and paint for like, you know, an hour or two maybe. Okay. So first I need my T-Suns blue. I'm also going to take my watch off because my watch is one of those new fandangled smartwatches. And I get worried that if I put it on screen, it's going to flash up a notification, or like somebody's going to text me and it's going to be like, hey, your illicit paraphernalia is coming in the mail to your address at this time. I think everyone will know that I have illicit paraphernalia coming in the mail because it showed up on my smartwatch, and I want to avoid that. Hello! Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Okay, let's see. I also realize with the way that I've got my paint set up right now, I have to be very careful not to like put my hand in front of the camera or anything like that. It's a very interesting setup I got here. Like normally I'll have the miniature in my hands and I can like move them around pretty freely, but I got like cameras and lights on this sort of setup now, so it's something that I have to maneuver around. But interestingly, that's sort of like, it gets me out of my head a little bit and gets me like thinking about like, you know, the various different angles and like how the model's going to be perceived, for lack of a better term. So I'm sort of looking at the model from a new angle that I wouldn't have maybe considered to begin with. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm sort of seeing like, okay, there's a bit there that needs to be painted. There's a bit there that needs to be painted. I'm seeing it in a new light. And all I needed to do that was go live on YouTube with a shitty tripod and a couple of lights. That barely worked. I'll get a better camera one day. I'll get a better camera one day. Oh god, that's actually like... I think that's not doing well for me. I need to move that light. Here, let's put it back up here. What if I... Oh god. I should really sort this out ahead of time. Like, every time I go live, I have a completely new setup, and it's always a disaster. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it over here. Okay, that's better. I need new ring lights. That's what I need. Okay, what if I now do... Okay. Bear with me while I figure this out, because I'm not good at anything. Okay, I'll try to put that, measure that under there. Oh, fuck me. This is fucking disaster, oh my god. Kind of back to square one here. Kind of back to square one here, but you know what? That's fine. No, that's fine. I have a light stick somewhere around here. Just give me a second to dig that up. Actually, you know what? I think I've got a solution. I've got a solution. If I take this old coffee mug, I can like hook up one of my ring lights on this mug. And because it's a heavy-duty mug, it won't tip over. So I can situate that, like, right here. Get some nice lights on there. So then if I hold the model, I just point that down a little bit more. So I can hold the model like so. That's kind of better. Alright, whatever. Immediately my paintbrush is dry back, because I took so long to do that. Fantastic! Ow. Okay. Get some natural lighting here. Lighting is always the hardest part of any of this, you know? Lighting's always the hardest part of this, I find. Because, like, you try to... Ow, my leg! Okay. Alright, I'm a disaster. I know this. I know this. Okay. I'm having a rough time right now. It's not coming up well for me. It doesn't help that I have like no contingent light sources in this room. Like I thought it would be fine because I'm working with a model that's like a lot more brightly colored than that of the orcs, but with my lighting, it's just sort of washing out as it's like all blue on the camera, which isn't very conducive. But yeah, that's not showing up at all. Oh my god. Yeah, I might need to rethink this actually. It's like maybe if I just put this down. Ugh. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, asshole fucks up own painting stream. For 15 minutes. That's okay. Okay. You know, maybe I just might start with one of these guys instead. I feel like the librarian it sort of relies on him being, like, very overtly blue. Whereas, like, these guys, or he's got, like, different shades of blue on him. I think if I just get down here. There we go, that's a... again, that's like not really much light at all. Maybe I just don't have the right setup to paint Ultramarines. Like, I think I need like 2 extra lights here, because like, yeah, those colors are just not coming through. Oh my god. I literally have like ring lights blasting this thing so much that like all of the wet paint is like absolutely, like literally like drying in real time. If I just clamp that there and do that. Wow, it is really hard to get good lighting for an Ultramarine. It just looks washed out. This is streaming. This is streaming via the Pixel. And it's not doing well. Like, I streamed my process painting the orcs a little while back on here, and it went fine. But I think because it's like... I think because the Ultramarine is so, like, blue and dark, it's really having a tough time. Like, getting the right colors there. Hello, Blazer. Alright, let's see how this works. Hold on, I can do some settings here. Maybe if I'll put like a little... Jesus Christ. Hey, I can put like a sketch filter on there. That's fun. That's fun. Not sure if more light will help. I mean, honestly, like, I've got lights, like, pointed straight at this thing. It's just having a tough time in, like, the low light conditions. But okay, that's fine, that's fine. I've got a couple of things that I need to do here. Like, I've literally got, like, lights pointed at this thing. I just don't have the... My setup is, not conducive, as it were. I think also my McCrag blue has completely dried out. This is very unfortunate for me. Oh my god. Yeah, I had a pot of McCrag blue that I've had since, like, literally since I got the literally like that I've got since like I got the starter kit, and it's like absolutely dried out now. Like, it is gone. Love you so fucking. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad my funny little videos make people laugh and or smile. Or both. Oh my god, what's happening there? This is literally like the most disastrous thing I've ever done. Why is it? Baking paper, moist microfiber towel is also an emergency web palette. Hell yeah. I love learning all the little, like, painting hacks like that. But for some reason, that's just absolutely... What is going on? Okay, I swear to God I thinned these paints down. But that is like... Holy shit. That is like absolutely blocking out this model. Jesus Christ. I am literally going insane right now. I'm literally... Let's do a quick painting stream after work. Like, the disaster happens one after the other. Okay, that is... Look at that. Look at that foot. I literally just, like, baked that foot with, like, glue. Like, that is... Oh my god. Oh, do not even get me started. I love the dry brushing technique. Like, everything I have is, like, so reliant on dry brushing. Like, it's crazy. Like, when I finally get all those base coats down, and, like, it's... When the dry brushes come out, that's when I fucking live, my guy. Okay, I think using this pot of McCrag Blue, if you can see that in there, I think this pot's done. I think this pot is dead. Everything in here is like solid, like like fucking brick right now. This is the pot that I've had literally since I got like the starter set on like the Warhammer Painter starter set, and I think it's done. I think it's dried out. I think it was left open a little bit too long, and it is no longer salvageable. So I have to put it down. I have to take it out back and destroy it, unfortunately. See, the thing is, I did add water to it, and like that helped to get. I tried to add water to it, but when I put it on the model, it immediately like thickened up. Picked up my crack. Oh, shut up. Woof. I was having thick coats. Oh my god. Okay, I've got another pot of McCrag in here though. I got like the painter's. I got the painter starter set as a gift a while back, so I know I have a second pot of McCrag Blue, and I was literally like, I don't need this. I already have my other pot of McCrag. But if that one's freaking dead, I can at least use this one in the interim. Shaking up a bunch too. Oh my god. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. McCrag is dense as hell. Yeah, I think that's what I've just forgotten. It's been so long since I painted an Ultramarine in any reasonable capacity that I think I've just forgotten how thick the actual paint is. So I'm thinning it down with water. I've got a little bit of Lamy and medium in there too. Because like, I've got a couple of Ultramarines that I can get started with painting right now. I've got a couple of Ultramarines, but like they've already got a bit of a base coat on them, so really I just want to, you know, solidify that blue and make sure it's even across the board. Like, that's what I'm trying to do here. Buy blueberries? Well, that's an interesting question. Because I bought the starter kit and it only came with McCrag Blue, and so I painted some Marines blue, and when it came time to paint more, I was like, you know what? I've already got some blue things. I might as well paint the rest of them blue as well. Like, I'm not married to any particular one faction or anything like that. I don't know. I just like the color blue. I will say, though, the Leviathan box set does come with... I can't remember what the unit is. It's like that lieutenant unit that has... It's like that lieutenant unit that's got a whole bunch of, like, Tyranid shells on his armor and everything like that. I am thinking about painting him... What is it? Death Watch? The guys who kill aliens good. With the cool black armor. Because I feel like having one Death Watch unit in a contingent of Space Marines is fine, you know? Like, I want to have, like, I want to have a uniform Space Marine army. You know, like I want to have one I want to have them like all blue, all really, you know, on point and on point on the uniform looking. But I think some of the special units I can probably go like, okay, these are some detachments from some other Marine chapters, especially Death Watch because they're like veterans anyway. What do we got? The Lieutenant in Terminator armor. No, I think that's not the one I'm thinking of. Well, it comes with a Captain in Terminator armor. He's actually just sitting over here. Like he's always on my desk hanging out. And there he is. I'm pretty happy with the way that the Captain turned out. I do have one regret in like updating his head with a kit from a different model. So he's like sort of looking to the side there. I think it's good that I was able to give him some like variety from some of the other captains that I've seen because they all have the same head. There's like no head customization. So I like the fact that his head's a little bit different, but it also makes him impossible to take pictures with because I don't know. I guess there's a reason that the default captain has his head turned to the right rather than to the left. Because if you try to take a picture of him with his head turned to the left, it's just not. It's just not a very appealing silhouette. And I recognize this now. I have that exact guy? Hell yeah. I just kit patched 4 old Termies into Meganobs with a few bits? Hell yeah. I fucking love kit bash units like that. Terminators into Meganobs. That's an interesting one. That's like crossing the streams of the factions. And you know what? I'm here for it. I dig it. I love it. I'm into it. Some might call it heresy. I say be more fun. I can't listen to Raphael's final act while I'm trying to do things. It's got lyrics. I simply can't. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening up here? What's happening? I subbed to the 40k Imperium magazine when it hit the shelves in Australia. Nice, nice, nice. 3 2,000-point armies. That's a lot. Jesus. Like I'm trying to knock it down and get my first 1,000 points. Although to be honest, I think I'm just having fun painting the models for now. Like I want to play the game at some point, but I feel like I flip between. I feel like I get in different moods for painting. You know what I mean? Like I've just been painting orcs a whole bunch, and like I painted the combat patrol. So now I can play a game of combat patrol if I wanted to. But now I'm sort of in the point of like, oh, I painted orcs for like an entire month. I just want to paint I just want to paint literally anything else. I was even looking at some of the Tyranids that I have from the Leviathan box set that I still need to paint, and I was like, maybe I could paint them. Which is crazy, because when I first got them, I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit about you, Tyranids. I don't give a single fuck. I'm here for the Space Marines. I'm going to paint my cool blue boys in their cool blue armor, and that's going to be the end of it. And now, I'm sort of sitting here like, you know what? You know what? Maybe these guys are pretty cool too. Maybe they're pretty cool as well. Maybe I was sleeping on them. Maybe. That's the best one. I agree. Pay no mind to the fact that I've completely forgotten what we were talking about and what that is in reference to. I also agree that that is the best one. The art aspect is what brought you into the hobby? Hell yeah. Same here, honestly. Like, I painted some Warhammer before I like even knew it was like a game or was really interested in that when I was like a really young teenager. Funnily enough, I painted a couple of Space Marines because they were like, you know, the default ones you get in the starter kit or whatever. But I also painted some orcs as well because I was a child and they were the cheapest ones you could get and I didn't really care and I just wanted to paint something. Which I like. I appreciate the fact that the orcs are like, you know, you can ball on a budget with them. Let's see. I'm really just trying to make sure that the blue base coat is like evenly spread because the Space Marines were some of the models that I painted as I was starting out. I made a lot of like first time errors. Like I didn't thin my paints properly. A whole bunch of stuff went whack. And things like that. So I'm really trying to not make the same mistake twice with a lot of these Marines. I'm also trying to get the paint into all those tiny little hiding places that are really hard to get into. Which absolutely is difficult to see on my shitty phone camera, but you know what? I'm vibing. I got into the hobby in February after the guys at my town convinced me to buy some. 6,000 Canadian deep. Good lord. It gets you. But you know what? It's worth it, I say. Like, honestly, if I was to spend... the way I like to think about it is like, oh, you know, a box of models is like $90 or whatever. But, like, realistically... Or like $60 or something like that. Actually, probably closer to 90 at this point. It's like... The way I think about it is that, yeah, I spend like a $90 on models or something. But if I was to spend $90 on like a modern video game, because that's what half of them fucking cost now, like I would probably get more satisfaction and enjoyment out of doing this. Like, let's be real. Because I think that, like, you know, after I finish this, it's like I still have something out of it. Or, you know, or like a really expensive AAA game, I'm just gonna get bored of. Or, like, I'm just going to move on to something else. I'm just going to go back to, like, the 4 games that I ordinarily play. So, like, is it expensive? Yes. But when you consider how long it takes you to paint one of these things, and maybe that's only worth it to me because I'm freaking slow, I don't know. I think it's alright. ROI for time to money on Warhammer is huge. Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. And then you can even play a fun little game with dice afterwards. What's not to love? Okay, that's nice and blue now. Would you get into 3D printing? Probably. Like, everyone, I know everyone always says, like, yeah, 3D printing, it's so much, like, cooler and cheaper, but, like, I think that 3D printing I think it's a luxury few can afford. Like, would it technically be cheaper to get a whole bunch of models 3D printed? Probably. But then you also need a 3D printer. And in order to have a 3D printer, you need to have a place that can accommodate a 3D printer, because those things make noise and fumes. And, like, I definitely wouldn't have anywhere to put that in my current apartment. And everything like that. And then you gotta, like, pay for the models, and you've gotta, like, ship them out and do everything like that. And, like, it's... The model quality on a lot of the Games Workshop models are very good. Like, they are the best in the business at printing models for a reason, I find. Like, I had a buddy back home who had a 3D printer, who tried 3D printing some of his own models. And, like, it's really hard to get them to be, like, of good quality, I find. Spent $300 at a resin printer, barely gonna have room in my apartment. Oh god. Ugh. Ginger ale is delicious. But yeah, so like, I understand that 3D printing is like a novelty. But yeah, like, I could definitely see myself 3D printing, like, some models, or, like, maybe some things to go on, like, the bases of my models. But yeah, I just find it highly doubtful that you could get, like, you know, sculpts or prints that are, like, as good as the Games Workshop models. I don't know, I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass, and probably I am, let's be real. But then it's also, like, you don't get the satisfaction of, like, chipping the plastic out of the sprues, and then going, like, which head do I want to put on? Or, like, ooh, I can put this arm with this. Or, like, ooh, the instructions want me to put it together this way, but I'm going to be a little scoundrel, and I'm going to put it together the other way instead. I get a lot of satisfaction with rule breaking, which is funny because I've never broken the law in my entire life. Maybe I need a structured way to break the rules. Maybe I'm just a fucking nerd. Ultramarines? Well, that's a change. Yeah, I like to switch up. Like, I was painting the orcs for a good while, so I could do a little, like, community challenge at my local store. It was like new year, new army. You had to like sign up and say that like, yeah, by March, I'm gonna have a full combat patrol set painted. And that's exactly what I did. So like now I'm sort of in the state where I'm like, I've been painting orcs for like a literal month and like sprinting to get them across the finish line. I just want to paint something that isn't orcs for a little bit. I need a break. I need a breather. You know what I mean? I've got some terrain I still need to paint as well. It's, I've got a lot of potential things that I can do. Okay, my paint. Resin detail is high if you have a high resolution printer. Yeah, but that costs money though. Although let's be real, complaining about things being expensive while painting Warhammer is an irony that I understand. And I do not need to point it out to me. I am a monster of my own making, and I understand this. You probably can't see it on the camera, but like I always try to make sure that I paint the inside of the like little ceramite soup bowl where they contain their skulls. I built my first Drukhari combat patrol without the instructions for all the minis. Hell yeah! If I didn't have the instruction manual for my miniatures, I would probably have a panic attack and not build them ever. Because I need to be told what to do at all times. Please, take me by my hand and lead me down the correct path, because if I think I'm doing the wrong thing, I am going to implode. And that's just how I work. That's just me, and I understand this. I understand this about myself. Although for like some of the combat patrol models, there's like, I will say there is some very like, you can tell that some of them could only be hooked together in a very specific way. Like a lot of the orcs that I built were like, okay, even if I didn't have the instruction manual, I could probably figure this out. Because like heads are attached to shoulders and other things like that, so it's really like, okay, you very deliberately set these up to only be built one way. Which is kind of lame. But I get it. Instructions on my lifeblood. God, same. I have to know that I'm doing the right thing at all times. Or if I'm, like, going off the beaten path, if I'm going off the beaten path and I'm, like, kit bashing something, I need to know that I'm breaking the rules in a way that is still kind of compliant with the rules. I know that doesn't make sense. I know that nothing in my head makes sense. I'm just a stressed out little anxious man, and you know what? I at least have that. I at least know that about myself. Okay, I'm also trying to make sure that I paint the parts that are, like, obscured by, like, guns and arms. Because that's always my, like... That's always my biggest sin. If there is a gun or, like, an arm in the way of something, I will just, like, neglect to paint it, and it'll be solid black under there. And I don't want to repeat those sins. The biggest thing for me in the orcs was probably, like... I had to tell myself every time, like, there is skin under their jaws. Like, underneath their chins, there is stuff to paint, and you cannot leave that unpainted. And despite that, I almost did. Every time. The Drukhari Combat Patrol is unique, because most of it isn't pushed to fit. Okay. Okay. 90% can fit on other figures without the leg poses. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that was one of my big, like, criticisms about the Orc Combat Patrol. It was very clear that there was only one way to, like, put everything together. And so I was like, okay, this is... Someone has put a stake in the ground and declared that there's no fun allowed here. And I get why, but also, come on, man. Come on, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's have a bit of fun, alright? Just a bit of fun. Just having a bit of fun with the lads. Great content, much love. Oh, thank you. I try my darndest. One day I'll get a proper painting setup. I kit bash my first boys. The mixed loadout is saddening. Oh. Yeah, I think I remember that some of the old boys models, that you can still get, are a bit more customizable, which I feel like people were lamenting that the new boys weren't really as customizable, but like the old boy kit was. And so people are saying, they're like, yeah, if you don't like the monopose ones, you could just get one of the old boys kits, right? But they look so... They kind of look ugly. They kind of look ugly. And I know... I don't want to be that guy, but they kind of look ugly. You know? They kind of look ugly. Gotta go? Get out of here. Thanks for dropping in, though. Always appreciate it. I did build my sororitas with instructions, though. With my main army. Yes. That's the other thing I like about the Games Workshop models, is that sometimes I feel like... Sometimes I feel like you want to have that, What's the word for it? Sometimes there is a certain satisfaction of doing things by the book. You know, like it's like you're getting the most iconic poses, or like, you know, you're painting the models in such a way that it's like, yes, this is the classic Space Marine or Sororitas pose. You know what I mean? I'm like a stickler for canon and a stickler for lore, so like I love that shit. I love that shit. A couple of models here that I'm trying to do. Boys boxes are great. I have a few dual wield axes. Hell yes. I stuck a couple of rocket packs on mine too from the Storm Boys kit. Because in one of the Storm Boys, there's like a little Gretchen companion you can put on one of the Storm Boys, and he's got a little jetpack of his own, and he comes with a couple of like customizable jetpacks, or like jetpack variants you can put on him, and I put those both on regular boys instead, but I didn't realize that the Gretchen companion had like a specific square hole in his spine that you needed to put the jetpack specifically on. So I used both of the jetpacks before I put one on the Gretchen companion, and so we just had a big hole in his spine that I had to cover up with some like grenades, but it looks fine, and you won't notice unless I tell you to look for it, in which case you know to look for it. Anyway. Ow. Alright. My only painting experience comes from 3D modeling when I tried to paint the same way. Wow, alright. Man, that's like diving straight into the thick of things. Like, because normally the 3D modeling and stuff is like that's the next level in-game shit that you have to do. Like normally that's like, yeah, I've been painting models for years. Now I'm leveling up to 3D printing. Going at it day one is a ballsy move, and I'm here for it. Okay. Paint. There's an absurd level of catharsis of putting on a lore player and just building kits. Hell yes. I need to go back to reading the Black Library books, because I still have a couple in my Audible library that I'm getting through. I'm like 8 books deep into the Horus Heresy, and I'm definitely going to pick up the 9th one at some point. But I took a little bit of a break to listen to one of the Necrons audiobooks, and I loved it. Like, I wasn't really like a big, you know, Necrons guy, like in general, I guess. But reading those books has really, like, you know, put me onto those weird robot bastards. Hell yeah. We love turning our passions into jobs. Sometimes. Although sometimes we just want a hobby to be a hobby. People make a bit of scratch from it, that's great. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. You don't know this. Fastest way to paint is to batch jobs. Fun way to... Hell yeah. I try and do that, but then I always get sidetracked at any one time. Okay, I don't know if it's showing up anywhere else, but I'm getting some, like... I'm getting a lot of lag and technical issues on my end. I do not think my internet's having a good day today. I'm still figuring out how to actually paint. Oh yeah, that's... It's a lifelong journey, you know? Like, you really try and... like you could spend an entire lifetime, you know, learning new paints, new techniques, and everything like that. You could spend a lifetime learning and still not know everything, and that's the beauty of it, I think. I have a machine that I made that precisely paints 3D. Oh! Oh, okay. Okay. Is that cheating? Is that cheating at paint? Can you cheat at paint? I guess not. I guess there are no rules to paint. That's rad as hell, though. Imperial Magazine has build and paint guides? Hell yeah. I always look out for those in White Dwarf. But I feel like White Dwarf specifically, like I feel like they've gone through so many, like, you know, painting tutorials or, like, you know, hints and tips that, like, they pull out some weird ones now that are maybe a little bit too advanced for, you know, whatever I got going on. Like, I think in one of the last editions of White Dwarf that I saw, it was like, yeah, here's a really great way to paint rust. First, get a can of hairspray and, like, completely douse your model in it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like Hairspray? Like the musical? The thing for your hair? What? But apparently, like, the solvent sort of, like, you know, is really good to, like, it holds on pieces of your model and then, like, flakes off, so you get, like, a really nice rust effect. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. It's not cheating if you're still coloring them yourself. That's right. That's what we're gonna tell the judges at Golden Demon. Okay. If I can make a Master of Jesus, hell yeah! Oh yeah, it would be cool. Okay, I'm getting, like... Oh, Jesus, what's happening here? What is happening? Loving the Baldur's Gate 3 music? Hell yeah. I mean, it's not Baldur's Gate specifically. It's Borislav Slavov. He's the composer for Baldur's Gate, but he also did Divinity: Original Sin 2. Both great soundtracks that I love, and so I really like. I really just enjoy putting them on as background music. If you like Baldur's Gate, you gotta check out Divinity: Original Sin 2. Like, it's a little bit more... It's a bit older, so it's a bit more clunky, but it's still got the same vibe. You know, it was the game that it was the game that made everyone say, "Hey, Larian should make a Dungeons and Dragons game," and so that's exactly what they did. Divinity was my introduction to Larian. Sweet, hell yeah, fuck yes. It was mine too, technically. It took me a little bit to get into. Like, I was like, what is this top-down shit? I gotta move by right-clicking? This isn't Skyrim. I don't want this. But then I stuck around for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. I was a fool. I was a fool to doubt you, Larian Studios. I feel like Larian is the new Valve. Like, everyone just loves them unequivocally because they're just weird people making games. Doing whatever the fuck they want. A CEO has a suit of armor. Larian dropped Baldur's Gate expansions. That is true. And that is, you know... That is a bit of a bummer. But they dropped them because they didn't want to do them. And so I'm like, you know what? Even if you did do them, and like if it was something that you wouldn't want to do and your like heart wasn't in it, you know, would they really be that good at the end of the day? Like the fact that they even have the power to go like, yeah, we're just not feeling it. We're just not feeling like we just don't want to do it. We want to do other stuff. I'm like, you made one of the fucking most critically acclaimed RPGs of like this generation. If you want to do other shit, fucking go for it. Like, oh my god, do whatever you want all the time forever. And that's exactly what they did by listening to me, Ethan. This is because Hasbro also didn't want to pay them for it. Yeah, I mean, that'll also do it. I feel like there's a lot of people... I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are, you know, making fun of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro through this whole thing. Like, being like, oh yeah, they're just a shitty company, they didn't, like, you know, they just don't want to pay Larian, they're just gonna screw over Larian. But, like, I think everything that Larian has said in regards to Wizards of the Coast was, like, you know, yeah, they were great to work with. And it all just comes down to us not wanting to make it anymore. Also, everybody that we talked to at the start of the project has been fired, so I guess I can't really speak to what the company's like now, I guess. Bazinga. First time playing with these, hell yeah. Why would he make you play on the hardest difficulty? That's mean and rude. All games should be played on normal mode. We shouldn't have hard mode in video games. That's my hot take. I don't actually think that. Well, I kind of do. Like, make it... Like, who cares if you can go through the entire thing with enemies having twice as much health as they need, or fucking whatever. Ah, no, I'm just rambling. I'm very tired. Yeah, I also don't think Wizards had anything to do with dropping Baldur's Gate. Like, I think they would have just let Larian do whatever the fuck they wanted at this point. Bring back dynamic difficulty. That's right. Let me tailor my experience to make every attack that everybody does a one-hit KO, and therefore thereby turning the game into a bullet hell rather than a standard action RPG. All fights are played out in real time, and the first hit wins. You down one potion of speed at the start of the day, and you are set. To be fair, some of my favorite games are the Soulsborne games. That's true. That's real. It's an acquired taste. I've been playing a little bit of, like, Dark Souls 3 since I got my Steam Deck. Because it's really great to just, like, you know, zone out for a little bit. Although I like how everyone says, like, yeah, man, the Dark Souls lore, it's so, like, rich and, like, dynamic. Man, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just trying to get from bonfire to bonfire and not get my ass handed to me on the way. Toho mod for RPGs. That's right. Thank God for modding communities. And if Baldur's Gate gets like actual mod support, then we could just play the game forever. More content. More everything. Honestly, what I want is an orc first-person shooter. Hell yeah. Me too. Although I guess I still need to play Shooter's Blood and Teeth, which was their little like indie game shooter that they had. Which does look kind of fun. I will give it that. I will give credit where it's due. I also want to check out Rogue Trader, which I saw went on sale on Steam today. It's still like $50, I think. And like the reviews are, you know, mostly positive. But my understanding is that it's like, yeah, if you like Warhammer, then you will very much enjoy this game. Even though it's a little bit janky, even though there's a couple of bugs, and maybe it, you know, wasn't 100% ready for release. Like, it's... If you like Warhammer, Rogue Trader is for you. Kogan has Steam Decks, and I'm tempted as hell. That's... I don't know if I trust that. I always got bad vibes about Kogan when I was back home in Australia. Like, I was always like, what's the catch? How are you guys trying to screw me over? Like, I don't get it. You're telling me I can get a Nintendo Switch for $20? You are lying to me. You are lying to me, I said. I mean, I feel like they're extra lying to you if they tell you you have a Steam Deck, because like you can't get Steam Decks in Australia, I don't think. Like, my understanding is that Kogan, like, sells stuff that, you know, quote-unquote, falls off the back of trucks. But for Steam Decks, there's no trucks for them to take. There's no trucks to fall back from. You know what I mean? Or they get, like, surplus stock or, like, you know, weird shit like that. I don't know how their business model works. Gladius is pretty good, too. I think I tried Gladius once. Because that's the Sid Meier's Civilization one, right? Like, I played Sid Meier's Civilization a bunch in the past, and like I think I took one look at Gladius and was like, this is quite similar to things that I've played in the past, but different enough that I'm scared, and so I closed it and didn't go back to it. Oops. Age of Wonders is like Warhammer Sid. Okay. I almost picked up, what was it? Age of Sigma, Realms of Ruin? Whatever that, new Age of Sigma game was. But then I didn't because I learned that it was an RTS, a genre that I famously dislike. And also it was not very good, I hear. But then again, when Warhammer fans say something isn't good, I feel like you have to take it with a grain of salt. Because there's like there's just so much about Warhammer, and like, you know, someone not liking something just means it isn't in their taste. There's a chance you might like it. But as I said, it was an RTS, and I was like, that isn't for me. Are you excited for the Orc Codex? I am excited for the Orc Codex. I thought about pre-ordering it, but I don't think I'm at that level yet. Like, honestly, if I wanted to play a game of Orcs, I'd probably just, you know, get the rules for my specific units online somewhere. But I do like the idea of, like, you know, having all the lore and stuff like that. Well, even then, I like making the lore myself, so it's like, I don't know. I just don't have spaces. I just don't have spaces to put a book anywhere. If I get like a big old $60 book, I'm like, where am I gonna put this? The coffee table's full. The coffee table's full. Have I started Horus Heresy? Yes, I started the Horus Heresy at book 1, and I'm going to read them in chronological order until I get to the end. Because that is how books are supposed to be read. Oh, but no, you gotta go in, like, chronological order, you gotta go like this, that, you gotta skip this. No. I'm going to read the books as they were originally published and intended to be read. I don't care if there's a timeline order viewing or, like, you know, you have to read this and skip this. I'm just gonna read them. If the books are bad, then the books are bad. I don't know. That's one of my weirdly, like, that's one of the weird hills that I'm adamant about. You start at book 1, then you go to book 2, then 3, then 4, and you just keep going down until you get to the end. It's how God intended books to be read. It's how God intended movies to be watched. We skip nothing. If it's bad, it's bad. I have an Audible subscription and I get 1 book a month. I'm fine. I'm thinking of getting into Custodes, but I'm already not beating the Tyrus allegations. Oh, who cares? It's one of those weird. You're not a tourist for being interested in something that's like in the public zeitgeist. People are talking about it. That's how you learn about things. People discuss new information and then you process it. It's not tourism. It's not tourism. That's learning. You're a student. Student of war. Yeah, people say crazy shit. People say crazy shit all the time, though. That's the thing. Just gotta not listen to them. That's what works for me. Although I will say, apparently, like the rules aren't that good in the new codex. So I don't know if that's something you're interested in. But, yeah. But then again, like they update those rules all the time. See, this is the thing. Like I kind of want to get the Orcs Codex, but like just based on how Warhammer rules sort of go, is like they can update them over time, or they can publish like a balanced data slate or something. And when they do, the book that you have that you spent $60 on is like now it's nothing. You now have to refer to the balanced data slate or the index that's available on warhammercommunity.com, and all this book that you paid good money for is no longer relevant. The worst part is you have to pay a subscription to be up to date with the rules and that. Oh, come on. I thought you could pay a subscription to the app, or, like, if you had... I thought that the codexes came with, like, a special code that you could put in that would, like, give you access to, like, that thing's specific rules. I thought the subscription was only if you wanted, like, everything. You have to subscribe to the app and buy the book? That's no bueno. We hate corporations in this house. Custodes indexed overpowered rules, and then the Codex took out the overpowered rules and added... Okay. Yeah, that's kind of upsetting. Like, I can understand people being upset about that. I'm sure they'll be better in the next edition. I think the Codex is not saving that like D&D Beyond. Yeah. Well, at least, buying the book gives you, like, access to it in the app. Or you can just go to warpedia.ru and they have all the rules there. You just got to go to warpedia.ru and they have all the rules there. That's the secret. That's the secret. That's the secret that I use. Yeah. Overpowered rules and mostly forged word models. Curious. Oh god, there's so much like dog hair on my fucking models. Yeah, I always thought the custodians were interesting. I thought about maybe picking up one or two, especially since they're like relatively cheap. But then I saw they were coming out with new models or something, and I was like, I'll just wait for them. Some of the kits with older models are still a little bit like goofy looking, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can wait until like a refresh or an update or something like that. Okay. Okay. Krieg is locked behind the expensive four-to-a res models. Don't they have the like the kill team set? They got a plastic kill team set, right? Unless you're talking about like tanks and stuff like that, in which case, yeah, well, yeah, that'll do it. The kill team, man, that's all that you gonna say. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know how things are going on anybody else's end, but I'm getting like a lot of feedback and lag on my end. Like, yeah, this stream is just like not looking good to me. You know, I think I'm having a couple technical issues on my side. I think I might call the stream a little bit early just to figure some of these things out. Because like, yeah, my frame rate seems to be like dipping low, and like you can barely see what even colors that is. Like, what's going on there? Oh Jesus! Oh God! Ah! Oh my God! I fucked everything up. I fucked everything up. That's weird. If I'm getting more feedback than Adelaide, that's a concern to me. That's a concern to me. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's just the fact that I keep putting my hand in the way. Yeah. Maybe it is just me. Adelaide is cool, but it's still got Australian internet. Let's be real. Let's be real. Alright. Could be worse, could be Perth. So true. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna call it a pretty quick one today. Actually, like, I probably need to take a step back and actually see what I'm trying to do with these Marines, because like, I need to invest in a setup that actually allows me to, like, you know, pick up the models and pull them around without my fucking hand getting in the way. But yeah, so I think I'm going to call it a little bit earlier just so I can sort out some of these technical things. But yeah, keep an eye out for the next time I go live doing some painting. I want to get more into the habit of it. Like, that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to just, like, pop streams live and do painting and things like that. Which is very hard to do after a full day's work, but I'm going to try doing that more. And it's very fun to have people around to chat to while I do it. So, I'm gonna sort some of these things out, and I hope to see you again soon. Much love. Moi moi. Heart emoji.